Hey, what's up guys? This is Saad Khaleeq from Creative Tracks, and today in this crash course I'm gonna teach you guys everything that you need to know to become a better UI designer. So make sure to subscribe and let's get started. So first of all, let's take a look at the things I will be covering in this crash course. First one is Whitespace, then color and contrasting, then typography, icons, buttons and shadows, then size of elements. And later on I will be creating a user interface design of a mobile app screen. And in that design we will be applying all the fundamentals that we will learn first. So let's quickly come to our first topic, which is white space. White space or negative space is the room between the elements. Designers believe in using white space for elegance and ensuring a quality user experience. But sadly, many clients and other people consider white space as wasted space. It is often neglected, which makes the design ugly. So without going into further theory, let me show you a practical example.
I have opened a file for you to easily understand the use of white space. And so here look at this screen. What is wrong here is that neglecting the use of white space. First let's start from the top. This icon is not aligned very well, okay, and there is not enough space between this text and this icon, the container of this icon. So this is the first mistake at the top. Now let's come over here. Look at this graph, and the lines are attached with each other. They are not giving your eyes to breathe when you look at this graph, so it's not good. I mean, you cannot see this graph easily, okay. So there should be some white space between each line. And now let's come over here at this portion. These two elements are attached with each other. There should be some space before this black container. This is the mistake here. And now let's come down over here. And this icon is not aligned. This text and the line spacing in this text is not good. This text is also attaching this icon, and this price tag is going to the far end of the screen. There should be some space over here. This should be here at this point. And also this icon should be moved to a bit right side, and there should be some space over here and also over here. So this is the mistake here. And now let's come down over here at this bottom bar. Uh, the icons are attached with each other. There's no enough space between them. And also look at this space. What are you going to do of this space? This space is wasted. Use this space. Put this icon over here, this icon over here, and this icon over here, and this icon over here. This is the right way to put your icons in the bottom bar. Let me show you the modified version of this design. Here, look at this screen. The text is aligned very well. The graph is looking very good. There is enough space between the lines. This icon is looking very good. This portion is good. There is the right amount of space between both of the elements, and the text is aligned very well. Line spacing is good. The price tag is placed at the right point. The icons are placed at the right point, and the size of icons are very good. But look at these icons and these icons. There's a huge difference. It looks like these icons are going to scare the user. This is not the right way to put your icons. And come down over here. Look at this bottom bar. The icons, the amount of white space, everything is looking good. The problem in these two different designs is that the use of white space. Yeah, this design is unprofessional because of neglecting the use of white space, and this design is looking very far better than this design only because of utilizing white space rightly.
So make sure to add enough white space in between the elements in your UI design. This is the common mistake that many newbies make. Now let's see our second topic, which is color and contrasting. Color and contrasting is a very important element of visual hierarchy and UI design as well. In UI design, high contrasted colors gain more attention than low contrasted elements. The contrast of elements define the importance. Use higher contrasted colors for more important elements, whereas low contrasted colors for less important elements. Your design should have 1 to 3 primary colors, but 2 primary colors are recommended, no more than 3. But here beginners stuck. They try to use multiple colors, even 5 to 6 in the design, and they don't even decide any primary color. It makes the design look ugly. Now let's come to our next principle, which is typography. Typography is the element in UI designing which you can't afford to ignore. Typography is the skill that every designer needs to master in the digital age. No matter the purpose of your project, it will play a vital role in your design. Enhancing the typography enhances your UI. Look at this screen. What is wrong here is that the same font size and same font weight is used for the author name and the publish date, which is used for the title of this blog post. The title is far more important than the author name and publish date because the user wants to see the blog title first. Now here, look at this one. This one has right hierarchy. So use bold weight for important text, regular weight for less important text, and lightweight for very less important text. Use large size for important text like heading, medium for medium importance like subheading, and regular size for regular text. Don't use more than 2 types of fonts in your design. Even using only one font is okay. Don't use stylish fonts in your design. This is the mistake that beginners do. They try to make the design more stylish and they destroy minimalism of the design. Minimal fonts like Montserrat, Helvetica, Roboto are recommended to use in your UI design because minimal is always better. Now look at these two different screens. It's clearly showing the importance of line spacing and letter spacing as well. Line and letter spacing enhances the user's readability. So make sure to add enough line space and letter space as well in your text. So now let's come to the next thing, which is iconography. Icons are very important elements, especially in mobile UI designing, because they increase the usability and accessibility as well. But how? Let's understand with a simple example. If you want to prevent a person from walking in a high traffic, what would you choose? A message he has to read or a simple graphical image? Obviously a simple graphical image that conveys that message 1,000 times faster. So try to use more icons in the tab, buttons and other information. Don't use few filled and few outlined icons in your design. This makes the design look unprofessional. Look at these examples. How the use of icons is making the design more awesome. See this example. Use of half contained and half outlined icons is making the design unprofessional. Now see this example. This is the right way to put icons, and same goes for the outlined icons. Now let's come to the next thing, which is button. There are three types of buttons. First one is text button, second one is outline button, and the third one is content button. Text buttons are used for less importance, whereas outline buttons are used for medium emphasis and content buttons or filled buttons are used for higher emphasis. You can also use icons in the buttons, and you can also make the buttons rounded. Make sure the container's height and width should dynamically fit with the size of the text. Look at this example for easily understanding. There is another state of button called rest button. Here is an example of rest button. It is mostly used at the bottom of the mobile app screen. Now let's come to the next thing of UI designing, which is shadows. There are two types of UI designs: flat design and shadowed design. A flat design does not consist of shadows, gradients, strokes and glow, whereas the other type uses shadows, gradients, strokes and glow, which enhances the visual hierarchy. You can only use shadows in cards, top bars, bottom bars, buttons and images. Now let me show you some very nice examples of how shadow can make your design far more awesome.
So here right now I'm on dribble.com, which is a portfolio website to showcase your graphic design projects, and I have some examples here for you to show some types of shadows and right way of using shadows. First, let's start from this example, and this is by Chetan KVS in Splitvisor mobile app redesign. So I don't know whether I'm pronouncing his name rightly or not. Okay, here you can see these are some cards, and each card has a very nice looking shadow under it, which is making this design very unique. The shadow of each card has the same color which the card has. Look at this one, it has yellow orange color, and the shadow also has orange color. Look at this blue one, the shadow also has blue color. This green one's shadow also has green. So this is a very nice example of shadows. Now let's come to the next one. I just wanted to show you these two cards over here, this play button and this card, which is in this purple color. And this, look at this button, the shadow under it is making the button very unique, and also it has impact on the whole design, and it's a very nice shadow with lighter opacity, not too hard, which is making the design very professional. And look at this card also, it has also the same color which the card has. uh, it's also having impact on this design. Now let's come to the next one, which is, and I just wanted to show you these two cards and this calendar over here. Just look at this calendar's card. uh, it has a very nice shadow, uh, not too hard, neither too light. These cards also have the same shadow which this card has. uh, the shadow is making the design very unique. And also look at this bottom bar, it has a very nice amount of here at this point. So this is the right way to use shadows in your designs.
Now look at this image. I have four types of shadows over here, from which two are good and two are bad. First of all, see this one over here. It has a very pretty shadow with lesser distance and medium opacity. Neither too hard nor too light. And also it has the same shadow color which the card has. It's not black. So this is the first type. Now let's see this one over here. It also has shadow of same color which the card has. It has lighter opacity with bigger distance. So these are two good types of shadows that you can use in your design. Now we have another type over here which is bad. It looks like the early age of computer. It is a very hard shadow. It is not for using in your modern design, in modern UI design. We have another one over here which is very dark and very deep as well. It will totally destroy your design if you will use this type of shadow in your UI design. So these are the four types of shadow. Two are good and two are bad. Okay, now let's come to the next topic, which is size of elements. And this is the most common and first bigger mistake that newbies make. They keep the size of elements too much bigger. Size of elements matters a lot in your UI design and also in terms of visual hierarchy. Let me show you an example regarding this thing.
So I have opened the same screen, with some more problems in it. What is problem in this design is that the size of elements. Size of elements is all the elements is very large. Each icon is very large. Each text is very large. The lines in this graph are very large. This title is too much large, and this is the only thing which is making this design look ugly is that the size of elements. The size of elements is very large, which is making this design look ugly. So I have another screen over here. Look at this screen. This one has the right size of elements in it. Look at the graph lines. Look at this text size, this icon. Everything is aligned very well, and everything has very good size. um, so you have to cover this gap to become a professional UI designer. This is the mistake that newbies make. They keep the size of elements very large like this, but gradually you will learn. You will start creating designs of this type. uh, so this is the example for you to understand easily the uh, principle of size of elements.
So I have opened my Adobe XD. Now very quickly I'm gonna create a new file of iPhone X size. The artboard has been created. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna select the artboard and I'm gonna give it a light gray color like F5, F5, F5. This would be very good color for the background. Now I'm gonna create search bar at the top. First I'm gonna drag the search icon from my Explorer. Let's move it here for now. So now let's create the bar with the rectangle tool. Create a rectangle like this one here. Make sure that there is space for the status bar at the top and also a bit space at the side. Now I'm gonna make its corners rounded and I'm gonna fill the border with light gray color. Make it a little larger. Okay, so now let's write search in this bar. I'm using Roboto font for this. Now look, the size of this text is very large. This is the mistake that newbies will make. When the design will look on the mobile screen, it will look very large, but they think that it's good enough, but it is not actually. So I'm gonna make the font size 14 and place it here, and I'm going to fill it with the light gray color. Now let's put the search icon. Put the search icon at the left side of the text. Make it a little smaller and place it here. I'm gonna move it a little bit here and make it a little bit more smaller. Now you can see that the search text has light gray color whereas the search icon has pure black color. So I'm gonna decrease the opacity of search icon to 70% and I think it's still darker, so I'm gonna do it 50. Select all these elements and align them in center. Okay, so now we have to create a notification pop-up below this
bar. Actually, this is a homepage screen design of an e-commerce app. So I'm gonna make a notification pop-up below this bar with the rectangle tool. Draw a rectangle like this one. Make its corners rounded and give it a fill of this color. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller in width and align it in the center. Make sure that there is enough space in the bar and this rectangle. Okay, so now let's write some text. I'm gonna fill it with pure black color and I'm going to make it 18. It's good here. Move a little bit so it's aligned very well. Now I'm going to drag and drop the close icon, making it smaller and place it here. It's good. uh, okay, now remove the border of this container because it has a color in it. I'm gonna change the color just a little bit. Okay, make sure that there is enough space at the uh, top and also at the left side of the text. Now I'm gonna write some description below this heading. As this is a description text, so it should have a smaller size than this heading. I'm gonna do 40. It's good. I think I should place classic in the above line. Okay, now I'm going to increase the line spacing to 90. It's 70 so that it enhances the readability. I think 14 is still a bit larger, so 13 will be good. Okay, now let's arrange it. I'm gonna make it a little bit larger. Okay, now let's create a button in this container. Select the rectangle tool and draw a little rectangle. Remove its fill because it is going to be an outlined button. Give the border pure black color. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little bit more wider. Make it a little bit longer so that these things get arranged easily. Okay, now press Ctrl plus L to lock this background rectangle and select these elements and I'm going to align them. Okay, now unlocking the layer and making it a little bit smaller. Okay, now I'm going to put text of button. I'm using Montserrat font for the buttons text. And place it in the rectangle and select both of the elements and align them. Now lock the background rectangle and Select both of the elements and press Ctrl plus G to make them in a group. Okay, so it's looking very cool. I'm not satisfied with the color that the container has, so I'm going to change the color of this rectangle just a little. I think this is looking far better than that color. Okay, lock this layer and move these elements upward. I think the button is a little bit larger, so I'm gonna make it smaller, and also this text to 11 pixels. Select both of the elements and align them. Okay, so let's move further very quickly. I'm gonna align these first. Okay, so let's move further very quickly. We are going to create a card below this notification pop-up now, and that card will contain the categories and icons of each category. So select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle like this here, and make its corners rounded by dragging this icon towards the inside just a little bit, and give its border a light gray color. Align it and make sure that there is same amount of white space which is in the above bar and the notification pop-up. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, its width only. Also the width of this notification pop-up. Just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna move these things a little upward, this button also. This type of little improvements make your design better, so remember this thing. So now I'm gonna create rectangles in this card, 3 at the top, then 3 in the middle and 2 at the bottom. Then we will put icons in each rectangle, and we will mask the rectangles and icons. Now holding shift, draw a little rectangle, give it any color, remove its border, and then place it here, make it a little smaller. Now holding Alt, make a copy and bring it in the center. Then make another one and place it here. Now select all of them and hold Alt and bring them in the middle. Now select this one and bring them at the bottom, and make another copy and place it here. And bring this one over here. Now select these three and move a little bit upwards, and also these two. Now we have to write name of each category. I'm gonna use Roboto font and 14 font size. 13 font size is okay, I think. Align it, then holding Alt, make another copy. and keep making copies and bring each copy under the rectangle. It's looking very cool. Now let's place the icons. I'm using all the icons from flaticon.com. You can also download from there for free, and let's place this icon. You can see that it is giving a blue color in the rectangle, which means that it is gonna make the mask. So when I will drop the icon, it will mask it automatically. Now to make the icon smaller, you have to double click. When you will press single click, the rectangle will be selected only. So double click and make it smaller. Now I'm gonna put other icons. Now I'm going to change the name of each category. Alright, now our card is ready. I'm going to unlock this and I'm going to make it a little longer, just like this. Okay, it's good. Now I think that the text has very dark color. It should be gray. So I'm going to add gray color in the text names. Remember one thing, black and white colors do not mean that pure black and white colors. They can be uh, gray black, and also it can be gray white. Now we have to make another card below this card, which will have products, three products I believe. So select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle like this. Make its corners rounded. Now select the artboard and make its length a little larger, and select this card and make its border light gray colored. Okay, make sure that there is the same amount of white space which is in the above card. I'm gonna move it a little bit upwards. It's good here. Okay, now now we will make three more cards in this card. Select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle like this one here. Make its corners just a little bit rounded. Place it in the middle because we will place some text at the top. Uh, give its borders give its border a light gray color. Okay, holding Alt make a copy. holding Alt create two copies, and I'm going to lock this rectangle now and select these. We will create a button here at the bottom and some text at the top. Now I'm gonna arrange these cards. Make sure that there is constant amount of white space between these cards and also at the left side of the card. I'm gonna make these cards a little larger. Okay. Now we have to make another card in these cards for images. Select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle like this and make its corners a little rounded and place it in the center of this card. Give its border a light gray color, and now lock this background rectangle layer and select both of these layers and align them in center. Okay. Make sure that there is some space at the sides and also at the top. Now holding Alt, make a copy and bring that copy in the center of the other card, and then create another copy and bring that in the center of third card. Okay, now our cards are ready. Now let's put images in these cards. I'm gonna drag this image, move it a little bit upwards. Okay, now I'm going to put another one. I'm going to drag and drop another one here, placing it here. Okay, our cards and images are ready. Now let's write some text here. Classic deals. Classic deals. I'm going to fill it with pure black color, and I'm going to make it size 18 point. Place it here. Now I'm going to select these cards and move them in the center of this card, and make this card a little bit longer. Okay, I'm going to decrease the round length just a little bit. I'm going to decrease the round length just a little bit of this card, and also this card too, and this card too. Also, okay. Now I'm going to remove the border of these uh, images rectangle. I'm going to put some more lighter color in the card. And bring this text just a little bit downwards. Select it, and I think I should make it medium. Place it here. I'm gonna arrange the elements. Unlock this layer, and I think I should decrease the round length of this card.
Now I'm gonna create a button in this card uh, and give its border pure black color. Remove its fill. Now I'm going to write some text in this button. 11 font size is good, I think. Regular font weight with Mount Serrat font. I'm gonna lock this rectangle and select these two elements and align them. Now let's write some text here. Product name actually. Roboto font for this and medium font weight. I think 12 font size will be okay. Align it rightly. I think we should add one more word and we should have two lines for the product name with 11 font size. Now holding Alt, make a copy and bring that copy to the other card and edit the text. I'm gonna make another copy and place it here. Okay. I'm gonna make the product image size a little bit larger. Now uh, let's mask this card. Select all these elements and press Ctrl plus G to make them in a group and now select this rectangle layer and press Ctrl plus C and Ctrl plus V to make a copy and then also select the card, press Ctrl plus Shift M to make the mask. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to arrange this text. I'm gonna move this button a little bit downwards. Cool. Now select this artboard and make it a little longer. I think the round length of these cards is more than actually they should have, so I'm going to decrease its round length. Now for this one also. Uh, okay. Now let's create the bottom bar here at the bottom of this artboard. Select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle here. Give its border a light gray color. I'm going to make it just a little larger. Now let's create rectangles in this bar. Holding Alt, create copy of each rectangle. I'm going to make 3 copies. Arranging them. Okay. Now select all of them and press Ctrl plus G and align them in center, and also align them in this rectangle. Now let's put icons in this bar. I'm going to drag and drop each icon. I'm using pink icon for home because the home page is open, so that's why. Now let's do some minor changes. Now let's put a shadow below each card. Select this card and create shadow. Okay. Now for this one also. Let me arrange this thing. Also put shadow in the search bar. So our design is ready. I hope you really learned a lot in this crash course. That's all I could cover in this course. See you again.